baby. You know it too.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne. What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Larry Peroetti, along with Nick Peroetti, and a thank you to our very special fine sponsors, Taco John's of Cheyenne. Again, you can check out all of the locations. Matter of fact, you'll have to find the food truck over on the south side as the South Grizzly dress. It's getting there, but it's not done yet. Check out Taco John's today. All kinds of goodies for breakfast, lunch, and always dinner. Kia of Cheyenne over on Nation Way with the 19s must go to make way for the 20s arriving. And again, over at Kia of Cheyenne, my buddy AJ is going to make you an offer you can't refuse. He's got some great price reductions going on right now on certain 2019 models of Kias over at Kia of Cheyenne. Platte Valley Bank ×2, banking done the old-fashioned way, done the high-technology way, done everything in between. Rick and the great staff invite you to come on by, see them ×2 over on Vandehigh and over at the corner of College and Berging. Chick-fil-A at Windmill and Del Range, right across from Powers Field and Menards. For a limited time, enjoy their small frosted caramel coffee, but you can have on the menu right now their mac and cheese to go with their delicious chicken sandwich or whatever you want to hook it up with. Again, that mac and cheese, pretty doggone good. Right, Mr. Young Peroetti?
Well, you could have gotten on it.
I
but
wasn't
again, you were
here. I work for a living.
I show no sympathy again.
But was it good?
Yeah, it was good.
All right.
I mean, you can't mess up mac and cheese, but yeah, again,
You could mess up anything.
It wasn't runny or anything like that. It was.
Well, because Ray and Cindy know how to make mac and cheese over at Chick-fil-A. Windmill and Del Range, right across from Menards, and the Powers Field, open Monday through Saturday, serving up 3 delicious squares. Medicare Pharmacy for all your pharmaceutical needs and with your doctor's prescription. You call Gene and the staff over there. They'll put it together for you. You can come inside. You can go through the convenient drive-thru. Open Monday through Saturday. Same location as always, Bluegrass Circle, next door to Texas Roadhouse. Lennox Auto Body, the Auto and Truck Repair Center over on Dunn Avenue, and the Auto Glass and Detail Center over on Pershing Boulevard. We were talking about Lennox Auto Body when we had our meeting today over at LCCC, Nick and myself, and basically the repair that they did on Nick's vehicle looks brand new, factory parts and everything, and I'm telling you, they do a great job when it comes to repairing vehicles, especially over there on Dunn Avenue. So again, see Heather and the great staff at Lennox Auto Body ×2, Dunn Avenue, and again over on Pershing Boulevard. First Tier Bank at 1508 Stillwater Avenue, open Monday through Friday, and again offering banking the old-fashioned way, customer service, plus great CD rates right now with wonderful annual percentage yields. Talk to our friends today over at First Tier Bank. And Mondello's Pizzeria directly across the street at 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. Pizza, yes. Strombolis, calzones. They do some awesome pepperoni rolls. How about their delicious sandwiches on fresh baked bread? Fresh, delicious, paisan, family style. This is what you would have when you would visit your godparents. I'm telling you, Joe has brought his recipes from the East Coast here many, many years ago. They're still in play today, and I guarantee you it's not corporate, it's family, it's delicious, it's always fresh. Mondello's Pizzeria, open 7 days a week, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons, and we get things underway at Scoreboard Time. It's brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. We'll check in first with Nick.
Finally, my time to shine with LCCC volleyball from last night at home there at the RAC, where they took on Western Nebraska Community College, where unfortunately for LCCC women's volleyball, they got close in that contest, but unfortunately fell short 3-2. So with that loss, LCCC, their official record on the 2019 campaign is 1-8, as they will have a weekend road trip as they'll head up to Twin Falls, Idaho, part of the Star Invitational, but we'll talk more about that on tomorrow's show. And do want to remind folks coming up here on 1480 KRAE, again, at least 101.1 FM, 1480KRAE.com, and video live streaming as we usually do, Periscope and the 1480 KRAE YouTube channel. We will have Week 1 action, Game 2, but Week 1 officially, according to the Activities Association here in the state of Wyoming. But we will have Cheyenne Central play host to the Sheridan Bronx. Sheridan 1-0, Central 0-1. Central, the Indians looking for their first victory of 2019. Again, at home at Risky Field. Kickoff 6 o'clock. 5:30 tentative at least start time, or at least pregame show here on 1480 KRAE. So tune in again for the fun one coming up this Friday.
Now it's time for the real talent. All right, here we go. Major League Baseball. A final in the books as the Nationals lose to the Mets today on a matinee performance at Nats Park. Metropolitans winning by the count of 8-4. If you missed out last night, oh, by the way, Brandon Nimmo hit a home run. And I'm just looking real quick at the box score to see if Brandon was in today's lineup. And looking down the list right now, it does not look like that Brandon played. But last night, though, did hit a round tripper in the Mets' loss to the Nationals. Games that will be getting underway while we're still on the air, it'll be the Rangers and the Yankees in the Bronx, Phils and the Reds at Great American Ballpark. 5 o'clock games will have the Marlins at the Pirates, White Sox at the Indians, Twins at the Red Sox, Giants, Cardinals at Busch. Nice matchup between Mad Bum and Michael Wacha on tap for this evening. Tigers and the Royals will hook up at 6:15. 7:40 game will have the Padres at the Diamondbacks, Angels and the A's, the Swinging A's in the Oakland Coliseum, and the Rockheads will take on the Dodgers. Let's see, starting pitcher, bullpen. Well, take your pick on who's going to blow it tonight. Anyway, the Dodgers and the Rockies at Chavez Ravine around 8:10 this evening. Scoreboard being brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
I'm Nate.
And I'm Kate.
And we're not just literal taste buds. We're best buds.
And there's nothing that we love more than a
cool,
crisp,
when you are behind the wheel. Financially, it can devastate you if you get arrested. More importantly, it could result in losing a friend or a family member. That price is too high to pay. Call a designated driver after enjoying a night out and get home safe. Paid for by Federal Highway Safety Funds.
You love the Lennox difference, from collision repair to minor nicks and dents. Certified quality you can trust. Nobody cares about your car more than us. Lennox Auto Body, we do what we say. We fix it right and get you on your way. No shortcuts, no compromise. Lennox Auto Body. No shortcuts, no compromise.
Lennox Auto Body at 1020 Dunn Avenue and the Detail Center at 617 East Pershing Boulevard, Cheyenne.
Make your drive anything but average with the 2019 Kia Sorento. I'm AJ Miller, and with the 2019 Kia Sorento, you get similar features like the competition standard models, but spend less. That puts more money in your pocket. Dynamax all-wheel drive, Smart Power liftgate, and Surround View monitor are some of the many features available on the Kia Sorento. Come into Kia of Cheyenne for exceptional value. Call 775-0123 or go to kiaofcheyenne.com and we'll make it easy.
In life, you question everything. The same should be true when it comes to managing your wealth. What are your investment recommendations based on? How much are you paying in fees? And how can those fees impact your returns? Charles Schwab encourages investors to get engaged and ask tough questions. To learn more, call the Schwab Cheyenne branch at 307-459-0998 or visit schwab.com/Cheyenne. Charles Schwab and Company, Incorporated. Member SIPC.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For tonight, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 86. For tonight, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 57. On Thursday, it'll be sunny with highs around 89. And on Thursday night, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 58.
Fat, lazy, and stupid is no way to conduct a sports talk radio show. We've thrown down the gauntlet, upped the stakes, and made it clear that when it comes to sports talk radio in Cheyenne, there's a new player in town. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Wednesday afternoon, Wyoming Sports Talk Today. We're halfway home to the weekend. We get a chance to talk Bobcats football, Texas State Bobcats football with Drew King. He's the Texas State Bobcats insider for the San Marcos Daily Record. Drew, thank you so much for joining us on Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Larry Proetti, along with Nick Proetti, and well, let's talk about the Bobcats first and foremost. Under new direction this year, as they have first-year head coach. Correct me if I'm wrong. Jake Spavital.
Yes, Jake Spavital.
Look, if we can get you to speak up a little bit, that'd help us out here because you're just a little low for us.
Yes, sir.
All right. So anyway, Jake has come in to pick things up for the Bobcats this year. Unfortunately, Game 1 against the Aggies, you got kicked around. 4 interceptions didn't help as well. But
and again, that game was in College Station, so
I understand that. And matter of fact, the Aggies even covered the spread because they were favored by 33.5 points. So, Drew, just your assessment of what happened to the Bobcats.
Yeah, it was a tough game for them. A&M is obviously one of the best teams in the country. They're ranked inside the top 15 in the AP poll right now. They really did a good job of controlling field position the entire game. I think that their starting average field position, like per drive, was at their own 44-yard line. And Texas State really only crossed the 50-yard line twice the whole game. So they just really kept the Bobcats cornered in their own side of the field, and that really put a struggle on the defense, who couldn't keep A&M out of the red zone basically the whole game.
Now, we're talking about Coach Spavital. He's kind of an offensive-minded guy. So what has he done to – and again, you know, the litmus test wasn't against the Texas A&M Aggies, but what has he done to shore up the offense for the Bobcats?
So I think the main thing is he's trying to simplify things. Whereas last year, there were a lot of different changes that, or tangents that you could go on a certain play. This year, he's really trying to make it simple for the players, make sure that everybody understands what they're doing, and so that they have less responsibility. They can focus more on just what they're supposed to do that play instead of having to focus on what other players will do. And I think the other thing is they're trying to up the tempo a little bit. They're trying to play a little bit faster and get more plays going during the game.
Well, let's shift focus away from at least week 1 for Texas State again on the road at Texas A&M, again a top 25 ranked opponent. So Texas State again, as it showed on the line, and obviously again a lot of Bobcat fans had a feeling that they were not going to come away with a victory on the road in week 1. But just give us a little background for 2019, a little preview of Texas State, a team that does compete in the Sun Belt Conference in Division I FBS football. What were expectations, or what are expectations for Texas State in 2019 for this team?
You know, I think that they just want to improve. You know, they haven't won more than 3 games in the last 3 seasons, and people really just want to see a step in the right direction this year. So whether that looks like 4 games instead of 3, whether that's 5 games, or possibly even becoming eligible for a bowl game, people just want to see improvement. And Jake Spavital has made a lot of changes. He's playing music at practice, which they didn't do last year. He's really tried to focus on the nutrition of the team. He's hired a nutrition specialist. So he's trying to really change the culture this year. And we'll see if that impacts their play on the field or not. But people just want to see more wins this year.
Also, too, last week against the Aggies, Tyler Vitt started, threw a couple of INTs, and then he got benched in favor of Gresh Jensen. So, is that still the battle? Who's going to be number 1?
That's still the battle. Jake Spavital said it was a coin flip as of Tuesday. Neither guy has really pulled away from the job, and that's what they're looking. They're looking for somebody who can just completely take over and move the chains on a more consistent basis. And that's been the case since the spring, really. It started as a 3-man battle, and they decided to move one of the quarterbacks to wide receiver to make it an easier decision. But since then, neither guy has really taken hold of the team. And I feel like the reason that Tyler Vitt started last week was just to name a starter and know who they were going with heading into week 1. I don't think it's because he outright earned the job over Gresh Jensen. So this week, my best guess is that they're going to start Jensen and then give Tyler Vitt a drive in the second quarter, similar to like what they did with A&M, just the opposite.
We're talking with Drew King, Texas State Bobcats insider for the San Marcos Daily Record. All right, so the Wyoming Cowboys will be heading down to San Marcos. Now, what we saw a lot of in week 0 or week 1, however we want to call it, a lot of cramping, from Florida State to even Laramie, Wyoming. So, the Cowboys will be heading to San Marcos, going to be a little bit on the warm side, I'm venturing to say, for Saturday's contest.
Yes, for sure. It's 99 degrees in San Marcos right now. By the time the game kicks off, it'll probably be around 90 degrees and get a little cooler from there. But, Texas State players were cramping up during the A&M game at Kyle Field, and, they practice in this weather all summer long. So I could definitely see that being a potential issue for both teams, not just Wyoming.
Well, and it's going to be at least more of an issue for Wyoming, again, going from the dry air up here. It's at least elevation in Laramie, Wyoming, but again, down to San Marcos, where again, you're going down in elevation, but again, a little higher temperature-wise than what it was Saturday in Laramie, but also to adding a little bit of that humidity from the Gulf there in South Texas. But as we preview this contest coming up this Saturday between the Bobcats and the Cowboys, looking at the head-to-head matchup, 3 games have been played between these two teams where for the Cowboys, they've won at least pair at home in Laramie, and for the Texas State Bobcats, they won that lone contest in San Marcos. So for the Cowboys, here it is, an opportunity for them to get their first ever win in San Marcos, Texas. But something that caught my eye of the 3 previous matchups between these two teams that have happened back in 2011, 2013, and at least most recent in 2017, they've all been kind of blowouts on one side, whether it is the Cowboys putting up 45 in both of their wins, Texas State putting up 42. Do we anticipate something like that to happen here coming up this Saturday, whether it is Texas State putting up the blowout lead or the Cowboys over the Bobcats?
I don't. I actually think this is going to be one of the closer games of the season for Texas State. I feel like the Wyoming offense and the Texas State defense are going to be a really interesting matchup because Wyoming is obviously a run-oriented offense, and Texas State is pretty good at stopping the run. So I think that's going to be really fun to watch. I think the real question is whether Texas State is going to be able to throw against Wyoming, which they definitely weren't able to do so against Texas A&M. Before the season, I predicted Texas State to win the game 28-21, but after watching them after the first week, I'm kind of leaning the other way now. I think Wyoming might have the edge on them.
Drew, let me ask you this: with Coach Spavital having his media conference this week. Let me ask you just flat out, did he have any comments on Wyoming's win over Missouri? And do you now kind of shift your focus on, hey, this might be a better team than we thought that's coming to San Marcos?
Definitely. He called Wyoming the definition of efficiency, and so he knows that they're not going to be able to make mistakes and still win the game. And I think he realized Mizzou really beat themselves. They had those 3 turnovers against the Cowboys, I believe it was, and it was a close game otherwise. So if Texas State wants to stay in it, they're not going to be able to make the same mistakes that Mizzou made against Wyoming or that Texas State made against Texas A&M.
So for you, Drew, to kind of break it down, what does Texas State need to do coming up this Saturday? They're at home against the Cowboys. What is that special formula for the Bobcats to come away with a victory at home?
You know, Texas State was not able to run the ball at all against Texas A&M, and I think if they're able to establish the run game against Wyoming, it'll open up a lot of more things against for the passing game. I mean, Texas State completely axed the run game during the second quarter. The offensive line was not getting any push. The running backs had really no room to run. I think if they're able to turn that around, it'll be a much more competitive game this week.
You know, the Mountain West got a lot of press this week for the impressive wins that they had, but hey, Sun Belt also got a very impressive win with Georgia State. Yeah. So I mean, let's not knock these little conferences. Whether the Mountain West not really a lesser conference, but the Sun Belt, getting some good press this week.
Yeah, for sure. Sun Belt has some good teams. Appalachian State is one of the best defenses in the country. Georgia Southern has a really interesting triple option offense that they run really well. Troy is always a sneaky good team. And Texas State, I think, is on the come up. We'll see this season.
Well, Drew, real quick, we want to get things wrapped up on our side. We appreciate you joining us. Things that we can expect in this contest. I know Nick kind of opened it up a little bit, but offensively, defensively, how are we going to see that defense line up against Cowboys? Like you said, they're concerned about the Cowboys running game, and we saw over in Laramie a couple of explosive runs by the Cowboys. So how do they shore up against the run?
They have gone through multiple coaching changes throughout the years. This is a defense that has 10 senior starters on the team, and they've been through multiple coaches during their careers. And so they have learned how to play against multiple styles of offenses, and they've gone through a ton of different schemes. So I think that makes them uniquely versatile, and they know how to adjust to almost any style of play. And so I think that they can match up with just about anybody in the country. They forced 2 turnovers against Texas A&M, and I think the score would have been a lot lower had they not had to start at the 50-yard line every other drive. So I think that they have a pretty good shot at lining up against Wyoming's offense here.
All right, Drew, well, we want to thank you so much for joining us, and have fun at the game coming up on Saturday afternoon.
Will do. Thanks.
Drew King, Texas State Bobcats insider for the San Marcos Daily Record. Join us here on 1480 KRAE, and we will be right back after these words here. Are you thinking about buying a new water heater? You could spend $1,300 or more on a gas-fired water heater. Or you could spend $0 on a top-of-the-line electric water heater from High West Energy. That's right, $0. High West members can upgrade from gas to electric without spending a penny. Don't you wish all decisions were this easy? Go to highwestenergy.com to learn more or call 307-245-3261. High West Energy, the best choice, the local choice, the right choice for you. Check out the huge savings this week at Town & Country Supermarket Liquors. Here are just a few of the terrific weekly specials. Our Super Radio buys heard only right here features Pepsi products. 24-pack, 12-ounce cans, $3.99. Crown Royal, Original, Apple, Maple, or Vanilla Canadian whiskey. 750 milliliter bottles, $16.49. And Keystone Light or Ice, 30-pack, 12-ounce cans, $18.49. Town and Country Supermarket Liquors on the South Greeley Highway, Cheyenne's low-price leader. Under the definition of fun in the dictionary, they need to include 2 more words, Wyoming Downs. It's the perfect way to have fun with new and even more exciting simulcasting games on display, including Classic Heat, Great American Racing, Samurai Legacy, plus the Great Jackpot. That's just a sampling of fun that's happening today at Wyoming Downs. Make sure to get your player's card to enjoy triple points on Sundays, double points on Mondays. There's Mystery Moolah every Friday and Saturday, plus other special promotions going on at Wyoming Downs, with 2 fun locations in the Cheyenne Plaza at 3617 East Lincoln Way and at the Outlaw Saloon at 312 South Greeley Highway. Remember, for more information, go to wydowns.com. Your locally owned and operated radio stations, KYOY FM and 1480 KRAE AM, are just that, local. Serving Cheyenne and Laramie County, where your advertising dollar stays local too. It doesn't end up in Colorado, Oklahoma, New Hampshire, or even New York. We conduct business here, we shop here, and we live here. And we support our entire community 24/7, 365. Just because it has a window dressing doesn't mean it isn't a facade. A reminder from KYOY and 1480 KRAE. In life, you question everything. The same should be true when it comes to managing your wealth. What are your investment recommendations based on? How much are you paying in fees? And how can those fees impact your returns? Charles Schwab encourages investors to get engaged and ask tough questions. To learn more, call the Schwab Cheyenne branch at 307-459-0998 or visit schwab.com/Cheyenne. Charles Schwab and Company, Incorporated. Member SIPC.
We are the key to your cleaning success. The Key People that provides affordable office and professional cleaning services for over 40 years with exceptional customer care. All of our contractors have background checks and are licensed and bonded. We guarantee you a safe and secure service that is tailored to your individual and business needs. The Key People do not impose year-long contracts, and all quotes are free, confidential, and personalized. Call Key People at 1-800-468-8283. That's 1-800-468-8283.
We're taking Cheyenne, Wyoming Sports Talk Radio to a whole new level. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Don't look at me. I think these people are completely nuts.
Stop this crazy thing!
And it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Well, you know, Coach Spavital for the Bobcats came to Texas State from West Virginia University as the offensive coordinator. He's going to have his hands full this weekend, and I was interested to hear
hands full compared to number 12 ranked Texas A&M.
Well, again, too, let's be real honest. Let's be real honest. Yeah, the Aggies are good. But maybe the Cowboys might be the diamond in the rough. We don't know.
Possibly.
I mean, they were slow starters, and, you know, for 3.5 quarters after that, they were pretty damn, or for 3 quarters, they were pretty damn good. You know, they had a little slip up there late in the game, but,
well, and again,
you know,
even
Missouri
Drew,
was in.
And again, why you're making this 180 flip from where you were talking about yesterday with the Cowboys, again, Drew even alluded to it, and again, appreciate Drew, at least King, joining us here on Wyoming Sports Talk today, where, again, even he mentioned, hey, things could have gone a little different if Mizzou didn't have those turnovers, where, again, turnover margin was heavily in favor of the Wyoming Cowboys this past Saturday. So, again, if it's something that Texas State does not slip up like that, plays a bit better, again, where even their defense had opportunities and made plays against Texas A&M, but they're able to do that against the Cowboys and change it up. Again, address that running game that the Cowboys are going to toss down there in San Marcos. Again, you look at the line, Cowboys are favored by a touchdown here again on the road. So again, Cowboys are favored in this contest, but you look at the previous 3, it's been blowouts. 45-10 back in 2011 in Laramie. 42-21 in favor of the Bobcats in San Marcos. Again, the Cowboys have never won in San Marcos, and they have a shot to do it this Saturday.
And if they slip up this week, then we got problems. But I don't know if they are.
And I respect, again, where Drew said, hey, at the beginning of the season, He wrote down that, hey, Texas State should get this win, or at least the close win against the Cowboys. I did too.
21.
I did too. I thought Texas State could beat the Wyoming Cowboys because I thought the Cowboys were a little bit, at least a little worse than what we're kind of seeing right now on the field. But, again, of what we saw in week 1, all right, I give a little bit more respect, but it is still something of, okay, was it, there are still a lot of question marks about this team of what is it going to be throughout 2019. So, Cowboys, yes, I think are favored in this game. Could they win at San Marcos? Without a doubt. Will they win down there against Texas State? They should. If they don't, then we have problems.
Yeah, well, and then it's back to the drawing board. But, again.
You can't go from beating an SEC school at home to going on the road against Sunbelt. Again, where you look at the mid-major, Sunbelt is a little under the Mountain West.
Talking Power 5. And, again, Mountain West is not a Power 5.
No, without a doubt.
Sunbelt is below the Mountain West.
But, again, it's up there with the MAC and everything. But, again, Sunbelt, yes, it's kind of tucked away down in Division I FBS football of, hey, it's pretty much just right above, FCS level, so to speak, with a lot of those teams. But it is something that if the Cowboys are to lose this game on the road against the Texas State Bobcats, where even we got to understand, again, new head coach, a program that is looking to get more wins than 3 this season. It is a Texas State team that has had difficulty since it's moved up. Yeah. And, again, that goes back to the WAC days when they were in the Western Athletic Conference, when that was still a thing, and moving over to the Sun Belt. They've had their issues.
Yeah, they fired Coach Withers right after the season last year.
Without a doubt. Again, for the Wyoming Cowboys, if they are to lose this game, like I said, Monday next week, we got big problems with this team of how is this possible? How do you lose on the road against this team? There should be no reason why.
I would hope that the word momentum stays with the Cowboys.
I hope it's also to a word that doesn't at least creep up this Saturday is overconfidence of, hey, we beat an SEC team, we can take care of the Sun Belt team.
That's always the fear. But the thing is too. They've got problems at the quarterback position, similar to what the Cowboys had last year.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, Jensen, is he going to start or is it going to be Vitt? We don't know. Both of those guys threw a pair of interceptions. So
again, you can't take that as a true litmus test because we're talking miles of difference apart between those two teams of, okay, 7-41 in favor of Texas A&M. We get a top 25 team.
Would you put the Aggies in Missouri about in the same class before last week? Even though the Aggies are ranked?
I probably put Texas A&M above the Missouri.
I understand, but Mizzou.
Clearly, if top 25, at least polling says that they are better.
But we're talking about big guys
would
on
Texas
both
A&M,
sides.
Would Texas A&M take care of Missouri? Without a doubt.
I think without a doubt. Yeah, absolutely.
I think even before at least what happened this past Saturday, I think Texas A&M would take care of Missouri.
It would probably be a good matchup if it was prior, if they would have came through and beat the Cowboys by 18 points.
I'm just saying, for what you got stats-wise for Texas State and just what is the situation with whether the quarterbacks, running back situation, defense. Again, their defense looked at least somewhat decent. Again, had those turnover opportunities. They made plays. So good on them against a top 25 opponent. But you look at what the stats are, it's not a good litmus test. It's something that, yes, you could use as film, but it's probably not the true Texas State team that's going to show up against the Cowboys that are going to be a little bit more competitive against this team.
Well, one thing that they had problems against the Aggies running the ball, average 8 yards. That was it total, 8 yards.
Well, you look at the Cowboys that had a tough time early on in that contest against Mizzou to at least slow down the run game.
They ended up rushing almost 300 yards, though, flipping it over, both sides on the offensive side. The one thing that Texas State did, and they were forced to, was throw the football. But again, they made 4 mistakes, so they're pretty vulnerable. I don't see film. I don't know. Only Coach Bowl and his staff knows exactly what kind of pressure was put on these guys to throw those INTs. But again, when you're throwing 4 of them, 2 by each quarterback, obviously they're not reading defenses well, or they're throwing, they're being rushed.
I read that into if you're taking on a very good Texas A&M team that has talent that can get those INTs against Texas State without a doubt. Again, where we saw Wyoming with Sean Chambers, where he was forced to throw in some sense against Mizzou and got away with a few throws, without a doubt.
Yeah, I mean, he short-armed about 4, correct me if I'm wrong, about 4 or 5 passes. I mean, he bounced it to the receiver.
Yeah.
So, yeah, again, that's, I don't know if it's confidence yet for Sean Chambers, or does he not have the arm strength? But a couple of passes that he threw in the game, they were bullets. So, I mean, the jury definitely is out on the arm
the
of
speed
Sean
on that
Chambers.
football of some of the bullet passes that he had. It reminded me a lot of Colin Kaepernick, whether it's his Nevada or 49er days. He was throwing like a 90-mile-per-hour just fastball to a lot of his receivers, where it was pretty much again just straight shots.
And then there's 3 passes that come to mind, and that one in the end zone where he throws it right in the dirt. It almost looks like a 58-foot curveball that the Rockies throw into the dirt. So Jensen, if he gets the call, he threw for 160 yards in the loss with 2 INTs. Their top running back Taylor had
more yardage than Sean Chambers.
Yeah, but let's go to the running side though.
Yeah.
Chambers had 120 yards. Their top runner had 19 yards, and a young man named White caught the football 7 times for 60 yards. So that's going to be the focus of their receivers.
But again, head-to-head between these two teams, only 3 matchups they've happened here in this decade. Again, earliest one was going back to 2011 in Laramie, 45-10 in favor of the Cowboys. 2013 on the road against Texas State in San Marcos, 42-21 in favor of Texas State. And then 2017, 2 years ago, back in Laramie, 45-10 once again for the Cowboys, who do lead the series 2-1. But again, Cowboys have never won at Texas State, and they have a good shot of doing it this Saturday. And it's something where I'm going to say for the Cowboys, we're at least on the same parallel with Drew King of, hey, earlier preseason, I thought that Texas State could get this win. Now I'm at least seeing what we saw this past Saturday between both teams, that the Cowboys should at minimum, they have to at minimum, come away with the victory. If anything, again, if they lose here on the road against Texas State, we got issues.
I think the prospects are good and positive for the Cowboys to
I
win.
would hope so.
Right now, again, as Nick mentioned, the line is 7, and the over-under is 48. I think both will be covered. I think the Cowboys cover the 7 points, and I believe the over-under of 48 points will be met.
And I think that's fair. Again, you're seeing what at least one team certainly shows up with the offense. Again, whether it is Wyoming with the 245 marks, again, 42 for Texas State. So offense does come aplenty, but I think Drew talked about it, and I think we both agree that this game should be that tight-knit. It should float around that 7-point favorite, at least, mark for the Wyoming Cowboys. It should be a tight one, and it might come down to whoever's got the ball last there in the fourth quarter. I think without a doubt. It might be that scenario.
Well, and again, too, as you mentioned, and you asked this of Drew as well, and he did give us the updated temperature down there. Again, the heat that we've had here in our part of the world, again, even in Laramie, it's 5 degrees cooler than it is here. So when we're at 90 or 92 degrees, it's in the upper 80s.
Yeah, but
mid-80s.
That's a dry heat compared to a humid heat.
And we saw all the cramping that was happening in the ball game.
Coach Bull addressed that in the press conference that we heard at least yesterday here on the show, where he addressed it and said, "Hey, my strength and conditioning, again, all this support staff." They got to address it. They got to do a little bit better during the game of making sure that these guys are hydrated and ready for this game and throughout that contest coming up this Saturday. Without a doubt.
And obviously, and Drew even also said on his side over there at when they were taking on the Aggies, same thing too. When they were at Kyle Field, and
again, it's bound to happen. It's the first game. It's still warm across the nation,
but it's going to be again tack on a 90-degree kickoff at San Marcos, which would be probably up here about 105 degrees. I mean, you could probably multiply that because, again, it's like with me when I go down to Denver. I can almost bank on it being 5 to 10 degrees warmer.
And again, who knows what the humidity, at least percentage, will be down there.
Yeah, we don't even know what that's going to be.
Will it be a high, at least humidity? Again, that does affect the play. It does affect the ball in the field conditions as well, where maybe it causes a bit of problems for the Wyoming Cowboys coming up.
It slows you down. I mean,
humidity's not fun.
Humidity drains you. That's basically what it does. So, Cowboys are going to be fighting a couple of things. They're going to fight elements. They're going to fight, not being too overconfident. Again, because they know what happened to these guys against the Aggies, and they also know that the Aggies are in the same
this is a Texas
conference that the Mizzou is.
That's why I'm drawing at least similarities between Texas State and here in the state of Wyoming with Campbell County, or even with Cheyenne South. Texas State is that team where, hey, they got nothing to lose. They've already had their struggles. They're already down in the basement, at least there in the Sun Belt Conference. They already got whipped on by Texas A&M. This is a team that's going to give it your all and going to be a little wacky on the field.
It could be another Wofford. I mean, that's what scares me. Like you said, they're going to play at home with, I don't want to use the word reckless abandonment, but they're going to play that there is no tomorrow. And they're going to go out and they're going to try to show the home fans that, hey, we got a new coach. He knows what he's doing. Oh, look, we got all these veteran guys back on the defensive side. Their big running back is not going to break free. Their quarterback, we're going to contain him. So, yeah, they're selling it right now in San Marcos that, hey, the Cowboys, they're fortunate enough to be here, but they're not going to walk away with the victory. So it's going to be an interesting matchup between the Cowboys and Texas State. And, again, like you said earlier, overconfidence. I don't think that's going to be a problem with the Cowboys. I think they're pretty centered right now where they know what they got to do. It's just a matter of putting the X's and O's in place.
Yeah, so for this game, do want to remind folks as before we get to the break, or at least our final break here of hour one. Cowboys, again, playing this Saturday down at Texas State, San Marcos, where the Cowboys 1-0, Texas State 0-1. Again, if you're unable to make it to the great state of Texas, again, this game will be on TV-ish. It's on ESPN Plus, the subscription, at least portion of ESPN, so kind of online streaming, stuff like that. So, again, ESPN Plus is where you can watch this game, and kickoff is set for 5 o'clock down there in the heart of Texas.
All right. We are going to take a timeout. We're going to be back with more after these words here in 1480 KRAE.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Some common things that can affect your personal or at-work computer. The worst of all is a virus. Secondly, it runs too slow because the hard drive is filled or something else internally is wrong, and it's in serious need of an upgrade. Before you get rid of it, let Lanny at Affordable Computer Repair attack and fix those problems right away. Affordable Computer Repair is just that. So call 307-256-8971 and let Lanny's many years of computer service get your computer back up and running the way it should be so you don't miss a day of work or the personal use that you expect from it. He's worked on them all, so you'll feel confident he'll get the job done right. So don't junk it. Help is on the way from Affordable Computer Repair. Call 307-256-8971.
Capital Lumber is lumber one in Cheyenne. Are you listening? We're all the lumber store you'll ever need. For electrical, plumbing, paint, and tools, lumber and hardware, we're for you. And we're out to earn your business, yes indeed. Capital Lumber is lumber one today. Are you listening? Capital Lumber's at your service all the way.
Capital Lumber Company, serving our area for over 53 years at 1222 Dunn Avenue in Cheyenne. The message is simple. Drive sober or get pulled over. If you drink and drive, remember it's illegal and it can cost you your freedom or worse, your life. It's been determined that a blood alcohol content of 0.08% or more can impair you considerably when you are behind the wheel. Financially, it can devastate you if you get arrested. More importantly, it could result in losing a friend or a family member. That price is too high to pay. Call a designated driver after enjoying a night out and get home safe. Paid for by Federal Highway Safety Funds.
You love the Lennox difference, from collision repair to minor nicks and dents. Certified quality you can trust. Nobody cares about your car more than us. Lennox Auto Body, we do what we say. We fix it right and get you on your way. No shortcuts, no compromise. Lennox Auto Body. No shortcuts, no compromise.
Lennox Auto Body at 1020 Dunn Avenue and the Detail Center at 617 East Pershing Boulevard, Cheyenne.
In life, you question everything. The same should be true when it comes to managing your wealth. What are your investment recommendations based on? How much are you paying in fees? And how can those fees impact your returns? Charles Schwab encourages investors to get engaged and ask tough questions. To learn more, call the Schwab Cheyenne branch at 307-459-0998 or visit schwab.com/Cheyenne. Charles Schwab and Company, Incorporated. Member SIPC.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For tonight, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 86. For tonight, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 57. On Thursday, it'll be sunny with highs around 89. And on Thursday night, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 58.
You bleed brown and gold? So do we. Wyoming Cowboys football and basketball is always front and center on this show. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's here on AM 1480 KRAE.
A couple of other intriguing matchups in the Mountain West. And it'll start Friday night on the Smurf turf. And they're favored by 12, and I think deservedly so. Boise State, as they'll be playing host to the Marshall Thundering Herd. Boise State now cracking the top 25. Oh, by the way.
Number 24 for the Boise State Broncs, no, without a doubt. Again, what they did on the road, taking care of Florida State. So, again, for the Broncs at home, again, one of the toughest places to win at on that blue turf. Obviously, without a doubt, Boise State should be favored in this game.
Yeah.
Again, 12 points for the Broncs. Without a doubt, they should take care of Marshall in that game.
But Hank Buckmeyer, who's taken over at the Backmeyer, who's taken over at the quarterback position. 407 yards against Florida State.
Is that anything surprising for Boise?
No. And then of course it was Mahone. He had 142 yards rushing. So I expect a lot of fireworks in this one, to be real honest. I think the Thunder put 56 points up the other week, last week. They can score too.
All right, but again, you're taking on Boise State, who again were Marshall's a little bit farther down, at least on kind of the litmus test. Or again, you look at what they did for Marshall. Again, 56 against VMI.
Virginia Military Institute.
Ooh.
No, but again, they always play that type of schedule. I'm just saying.
But I'm just saying that 56 is kind of a little skewed.
It is, but I'm just saying that they can score.
That's Marshall punching down. Here's a chance for them to punch up. Are they going to put 56 or anything relatively close against Boise?
Do I think the Broncos are going to cover the spread? Absolutely, but it
is not going to be a shootout of what you're thinking.
I see this thing being about a 40 to 27 game.
This might get ugly for Marshall. I think without a doubt.
It possibly could.
Again, 56 against VMI. Be real. That's a bit skewed of where you're punching down towards that team to get that victory.
They got a pretty decent quarterback.
You're now taking on a top 25
I understand,
team.
but you got a pretty decent quarterback in Isaiah Green. Threw 4 touchdowns against VMI. Take it for what it's worth. But I'm just telling you, this could be. I didn't say it's going to be a great game. I said it could be a good game.
It is not going to be a shootout of what you think of offense. The offense is going to be coming from Boise State without a doubt. I think it's going to be a game coming up Friday that gets ugly very fast at least for Marshall. But looking at the rest of the Mountain West, again, that's a lone Friday game, as the Mountain West, for whatever reason, just loves those Friday games. We got to spotlight one team per week on it. But for Saturday's contest, just down the road, at least in Fort Collins at the brand new Canvas Stadium, or at least brand newish. Again, it's year 3 for that stadium. But for the Colorado State Rams, who are looking for their first win on the at least season, they'll take on Western Illinois, 0-1 as well.
Leathernecks.
Whatever. Again, CSU 11.5 point favorite in that game at home.
If they lose this one, it'd be bye-bye Bobo.
It should, if they lose to Western Illinois, without a doubt, Mike Bobo, I don't think he finishes the season. He should just be gone. And for the CSU Rams, they should win this game, but we saw wackier things last year. Again, you look at the few teams that did come to CSU where, hey, Rams should take care of business here, and for whatever reason, they had their issues, and it's something that even Kevin, at least when we had Kevin Lytle on last week, talk about CSU, hey, it's possible. It is very possible last year and this year for CSU to have struggles against this Western Illinois team, to basically for CSU, it's going to be a struggle to find wins throughout all of 2019.
I mean, Western Illinois lost to the North Alabama Lions last week. So, no, I don't see.
No, I think CSU should win this game without a doubt. It should be another blowout in favor of the Rams, barring something wacky, which can happen. We've seen wackier things down at CSU.
I understand. It shouldn't. It just shouldn't happen that way.
But if it does, I think it's something where that hot seat for Mike Bobo becomes extreme.
It becomes torching on them.
So at least moving on from
UCLA and San Diego State, that will be at Pasadena in the Rose Bowl. Not much of a chance.
Not far
San Diego State to
not
win.
far of a drive for San Diego State to get up, going up north to see UCLA. Again, UCLA, not an impressive Pac-12 team. San Diego State, not an impressive. San Diego State, not an impressive win over the weekend. This one, UCLA's favored 7.5 points at home, rightfully so. It's kind of a coin flip. I want to say San Diego State could get the quote-unquote upset in this game, but I can easily see UCLA just dominating this and just basically wiping the floor with San Diego State. I could see both of those scenarios very easily, but for me, I want to believe that San Diego State could get the upset on the road. Again, they're not traveling far. They're still staying at least in California. Again, San Diego to LA, not a hard and lengthy trip to wear out, the players, the Aztecs.
I guess
where I hold San Diego State in the Mountain West Conference, especially on the west side of the division, I still believe San Diego State could get this quality win. Could add this, again, where it boosts the Mountain West Conference as a whole of saying, hey, we beat this team now.
Well, what it doesn't even intrigue me is how unoffensive the Aztecs were last week. They scored 6 points against Weber State.
Yeah.
And
again, nothing against Weber State. Weber State is a talented Big Sky team.
They're good, but come on.
And Weber State has been at least almost a thorn in the side of a lot of Mountain West teams.
San Diego's been like that one or two on the western side of the Mountain West. They've been a powerhouse. It was very unimpressive. And again, UCLA and Cincinnati, where the Bearcats beat them 24-14, they did not look good either. So I mean, it was a case of both teams not looking good. The only thing too, you look at the 7.5 point favorite right now for UCLA. It's because they're at home in the Rose Bowl. That's the only reason they're getting. I mean, you get 3 for being the home team. So the odds maker's not really. It's kind of a nervous 7.5 point favorite right now.
Yeah, without a doubt. At least more Pac-12 action against the Mountain West. This is up in Eugene, Oregon, with number 16, the Oregon Ducks, as they are 0-1 on the season.
And they're going to be ornery.
Yeah, without a doubt, as they take on and play host to the Nevada Wolfpack after their impressive win, again, at least final seconds to get the quote-unquote kind of Power 5 win there in Reno for the Nevada Wolfpack. Oregon in this game, rightfully so, 24-point favorite against the Nevada Wolfpack. I would say, hey, Vegas, back off of that. I give Nevada a little bit more respect, but Oregon at home, where it is very tough to win at Autzen Stadium, the Ducks should take care of business pretty handily.
Well, yeah, and with that key win against Purdue last week in Reno, now they got to go on the road.
Well, and again, you're talking a swing of momentum for Nevada, where hey, they took down one Power 5 team in a phenomenal fashion at home. Now, again, on the road, it's a different story. You don't have that Reno crowd to power you through. And again, you're taking on a daunting Oregon fan base that is very loud in that stadium. Nevada's going to have a tough time of this, but you wonder if momentum could help them get this upset on the road of, hey, we beat this Power 5 out of this, at least, conference. Now here's our opportunity to upset another Power 5 in the Pac-12.
Well, but also,
and to get out of top 25 with Oregon being ranked number 16.
And Oregon let one slip away last week
against
Auburn. I mean, they gave up 14 in the fourth quarter.
And again, that game was in neutral, at least neutral field.
I hate to be the next team that's going to take on the Ducks, because you think the Ducks are going to lie down after getting beat by Auburn. They're going to take it out on their next opponent.
Unless this is an overrated Oregon team, which could be possible. Ducks have had that history with a few Oregon teams that have been highly overrated, and when it comes to at least getting that team all set in stone, they're pretty pathetic. Again, Oregon's had that stint. We've seen that. They're kind of like with USC, of where they get ranked high, and then teams find a way to chip away at them, take away some of those guaranteed wins that you thought were going to happen for those at least upper echelon teams. But in this one, I think Oregon should win, but you wonder if Nevada could give them a fight.
I don't know. I mean, the odds makers say no, 24 points. I will say this, though. Both teams, they like to air it out. So it'll be interesting to see.
It should be.
It should be a fun game.
I have no idea what the actual over/under is, but
61.5 on the over-under.
I can understand. Yeah, that should be a shootout. That without a doubt should be an offense. It's just
there's going to be a lot of scoring in that contest, and it might be done by Oregon. Like I said, I'm sorry that Nevada has to be next on the schedule because the Ducks are going to be very ticked off after what happened this past weekend. Let's see. We already talked ad nauseum about Wyoming and Texas State, so we move down. Utah State will take on Stony Brook.
Yawn. Yeah. Utah State, though, again, you talk about ornery of what happened to them on the road. Again, where referees were kind of the issue, or at least the piece in that game for Utah State, which caused them, or at least a lot of people think, the reason why Utah State is 0-1 right now. But at home, there at Romney Stadium for the Aggies, 32.5-point favorites against Stony Brook, who are 1-0 on the season. Yeah, Utah State, this has a feeling of what we saw with Air Force and Colgate. I think Utah State kind of does a similar replica against Stony Brook of where Utah State's just going to have their way. They're going to have fun coming up this Saturday.
And correct me if I'm wrong, I don't see a line on this right now, right?
I don't have it.
Even though that Stony Brook won their first game, they won 35-10. Who did they beat? They beat the Bryant Bulldogs. Okay. I don't go any further on that. I can understand why there's no line in this one. Who's in Stony Brook's division here? Let me take a look. They're in the CAA. Delaware, Richmond, Villanova, Maine, Stony Brook, Towson, William and Mary, New Hampshire, Albany, James Madison, Rhode Island, and Elon.
So good basketball schools in there, but other than that, though, football-wise, yawn.
The Stony Brook Seawolves are going to probably get dismantled this week.
And we have a few more, at least Mountain West games to go as we're getting at least close to the top of the hour here. We'll just talk about one
last one here, because this one
does affect the Cowboys in a later time, but San Jose State back-to-back games at home. They're in California. This time they will play host to Tulsa. Tulsa 0-1. How about San Jose State? They didn't have to wait until end of the year to get their first win. They got it against the Northern Colorado Bears, at least this past Thursday. So San Jose State, they're undefeated. Go figure. They're one of the top dogs in the Mountain West, so enjoy it, Spartan fans.
But you know, to Tulsa's credit, the Golden Hurricane, they lost at Michigan State 28-7.
Not an easy task.
Yeah, I mean, so you're losing to a number 18 team again.
And this shows you, at least with this line of how much respect Tulsa is garnering, they're 6-point favorites on the road against San Jose State. Should Tulsa win this game against the Spartans? Without a doubt. I think without a doubt. Again, San Jose State, congrats. You beat your FCS team of Northern Colorado. That's probably your only win you'll get this season, unfortunately. And Tulsa in this game, yeah, they should take care of business. Again, will it be a blowout by Tulsa? Will this game be competitive? I'd lean probably more to Tulsa just has their way with the Spartans.
You know, they give the over and under at 53. I think, they'll probably go over 50.
I spot San Jose probably 2 touchdowns, but you give about 40 points to Tulsa. I think they have that capability.
Somehow 35-20 comes up in my mind on that one.
Maybe.
So, all right, we do need to take a timeout. We'll come back. We'll wrap up more of the Mountain West because there's a few more games that we haven't had a chance to talk about on the schedule. Matter of fact, just 3 more games, so we'll get to them here after the break. We'll be back right here on 1480 KRAE.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Welcome back to hour number 2. Again, thank you once again to Drew King, who joined us in hour number 1, the Texas State Bobcats insider for the San Marcos Daily Record. Hour number 2 today being brought to you by our great sponsors, which includes Mondello's Pizzeria at 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. First Tier Bank directly across the street at 1508 Stillwater Avenue. Lennox Auto Body, the main auto and truck repair center over on Dunn Avenue. The Auto Glass and Detail Center over on Pershing Boulevard. Remember, over at the Auto Glass and Detail Center, it's not clean until it's Lennox clean. Serving our community for a quarter century. Medicap Pharmacy on Bluegrass Circle next door to Texas Roadhouse. They're open Monday through Saturday. Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Delrange, directly across from Powers Field and Menards, serving up 3 delicious squares Monday through Saturday, and features for you right now. Mac and cheese on the menu item, and for a limited time, their frosted caramel coffee over at Chick-fil-A, Windmill, and Delrange. Pine Valley Bank, 2 banking locations for you. The original location over on Vanda High, and the east side location for you traveling home tonight over at College and Pershing. Key of Cheyenne over on Nation Way. The 19s must go for the 20s on the way. And see my good friend AJ and the crew today. Let them put you behind the wheel of the Kia of your dreams at Key of Cheyenne on Nation Way. And we want to thank Taco John's of Cheyenne. So if you are thinking about dinner tonight, what are you going to cook? Forget about it. Head on over to Taco John's because the menu is loaded with goodies for you, and check out everything that they can provide. You can get a meal deal, or you can just grab items, like, hey, burrito, I'm going to get a taco. Just check out everything at Taco John's of Cheyenne. And we get things underway with our scoreboard. It's being brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. We go over to the next turn.
Recapping from last night here in town over at the RAC, where LCCC Volleyball played host to Western Nebraska Community College. Unfortunately for LCCC, it was another loss for this team, as they lost 3 sets to 2. So with that loss, LCCC is 1-8 on this season. They will have 4 games coming up this weekend, as they will be in Twin Falls, Idaho, competing at the Star Invitational. And also, too, do want to remind folks coming up at least this Friday here on 1480 KRAE, 101.1 FM, 1480KRAE.com, and video live streaming as always on Periscope of the 1480 KRAE YouTube channel. We will have Week 1 action, but it is Game 2 in Class 4A, again, as we have Week 0, Week 1, but it is Game number 2 for us here in the 2019 campaign, as we will see Cheyenne Central for the first time this year, as they will play host to the Sheridan Bronx. Sheridan 1-0, Central 0-1, so the Indians looking for their first win on the campaign. Kickoff for that game, 6 o'clock. Pre-game show here on 1480 KRAE. Tentative start time for about around 5:30-ish here. So again, tune in, as we'll have the Indians versus the Bronx coming up this Friday.
Baseball scoreboard for this afternoon. 1 game in the books. It was a matinee at Nats Park in Washington, where the Mets defeat Washington. Final score 8-4. Games getting underway this hour. We'll have the Rangers at the Yankees, and the Phils will take on the Reds at Great American Ballpark. 5 o'clock games. We'll have the Marlins of the Bucks at PNC, White Sox and the Tribe at Progressive Field, Twins of the Bo Sox at Fenway, Giants Cardinals at 5:45 from Busch. And again, nice pitching matchup. Mad Bum going up against Michael Wacha. 6 o'clock hour, we'll have the Tigers and the Royals at Kauffman Stadium. 7 o'clock game, late 7 o'clock, it will be the Padres Diamondbacks at Chase. 106 degrees right now in downtown Phoenix. 8 o'clock game, we'll have the Angels and the Swingin' A's in the Oakland Coliseum. And the Rockies at 8:10, taking their 59 and 81 mark into Dodger Stadium. They will match up with the Los Angeles for this evening. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Alright, if you're a gamer, you know the world of gaming is full of amazing gear. Portable cannons, flying tanks, whoa, like that one, mythic artifacts. But the most advanced tool in gaming today isn't even in the game. It's right in your hand. Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel. Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel is purpose-built for gaming, created with pro gamers for gamers. What does that mean? It means it's formulated with ingredients that have been shown to improve accuracy, and alertness. And Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel tastes great too. Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel even comes in a special can with a uniquely textured grip, so it's easy to refuel between respawns. The ones you're furiously trying to avoid? Hey, there we go. So next time you log online, gear up. Get the drink designed for gaming. Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel. Victory in a can.
Got something to say? Then get it off your chest right now. Phone lines are open at 307-514-1071. Make your opinion count and call the show. Wyoming Sports Talk today.
We are back at it. In hour number 2, we were looking at the Mo West in action for this weekend. I think probably an intriguing matchup. Matter of fact, at Sam Boyd Stadium, it's ironic that the Rebels are only a 1.5 favorite. Again, home field.
Is this game intriguing?
Well,
who's it intriguing to?
I doubt that it's going to be close. It's going to be who has the football.
Let's be honest, fans in Vegas do not care what's going on with
and
Red
nobody
Rebels
cares about the
football.
Arkansas State Red Wolves. I know, but I'm just saying the Red Wolves put up a good fight against SMU over the weekend, and the Running Rebels they blew out Southern Utah, the
As
Thunderbirds.
they should. Again, that is a Big Sky team that, yes, they should get.
But
that
I'm just
win.
going by how the
This
experts
game is
are
not
looking
intriguing. If anything, it's for UNLV to pad some wins and pad some stats for this season.
I would not sell Arkansas State short on this one.
Again, this is a coin flip. It could go either way. I'll just say UNLV at home could get that win. But, again, Running Rebels, again, not a football powerhouse, could easily slip up. This could be that team that takes care of business on the road heading to at least Sin City. But other than that, though, it is not an intriguing matchup. This has no implications on the Mountain West at all. Again, UNLV is not – again, all this is doing is just adding wins so they can vault over or at least have, number 5 spot over San Jose State on that west side of the division. So, but other than that, though, again, that's a virtual coin flip. Could go either way. And it doesn't have implications no matter what, at least regarding the Mountain West. Again, UNLV – if they are to be at least victorious, 2-0, but don't read. I wouldn't read too much into that 2-0, at least here early in the season for the Running Rebs.
All right, our next matchup will have the Minnesota Golden Gophers taking on the
You want to talk about intriguing? How about this one of Fresno State again? The Bulldogs at home taking on Minnesota. Fresno, who, in my opinion, on the road against USC, I expected more out of the Bulldogs.
They were disappointed.
I was very disappointed in
But
that.
they also knocked out SC's starting quarterback, though, too.
But it's still equated to a loss. They're still 0-1 on the season. So for the Fresno
Not
State,
the Mountain West, though. That's just it. They lost to a Pac-12 team. That's all they did.
Yeah, but it is something that Fresno State should have looked a bit better. Again, they were disappointed in my eyes of what they did against the Trojans on the road. But here at home, there in Fresno, Minnesota, for what, again, whether it is for them just being, that Big Ten school, having respect that way, Minnesota is favored in this, at least contest, by 3 points. It's hard to believe that. I still want to believe in this Fresno State team.
And they barely beat the Jackrabbits of South Dakota State. They beat them 28-21.
That's why I'm a little confused on the stat line where you got to give Fresno State a little bit more respect. And I think for the Bulldogs, they should win this game. And again, with looking at that line, they'll get the upset against the at least Big Ten, the Power 5 team of Minnesota, the Golden Gophers. But I still believe that this Fresno State team has still something special within them. Now, whether the USC game was just an anomaly, working out kinks against the Trojans, but I think here in week 2 against Minnesota, this is where Fresno State kind of rights the ship and where things go in the positive direction, or at least in the good route for the Bulldogs for their, in my opinion, their route to get to that Mountain West championship game.
Well, Jorge Reyna had just an awful day throwing the football against SC. He was like 19 of 39 for 256 yards, but also, too, he toted the rock 20 times for 88 yards. So, Jorge, you got to remember, you got other guys on your team, too. So, Don't be carrying the weight of the world on your back. But
I mean, it was nothing to do for Derek Carr back in the day.
I know, but Minnesota could win this one. I just think they're too far away from home to win at Bulldog Stadium.
It's hard to believe that Minnesota they're putting them as a favorite.
And they struggle.
In my opinion, I don't think Minnesota has any business being competitive in this game. I think Fresno State should take care of it.
Minnesota's always competitive. They're okay. They're just
again. My expectations for Fresno State, they are well below, at least from week one. Right now, this Fresno team is well below where I had this team. But again, week 2, hopefully this is where they work out the kinks, get everything all taken care of, find those open pieces, realize that they have other running backs and specialists on the field to at least get targeted to. Fresno State, I think, should take care of business. I would not be surprising if if Fresno State wins by 3 touchdowns.
No.
In my opinion.
No, not even close. They might win that thing by a score and a field goal. That would be the best. Maybe
I don't believe in Minnesota. I don't either.
I don't
think they're that good of a team.
They barely won at home against. And again, I'm not taking anything away from South Dakota State. It was 28-21.
Again, Minnesota compared to USC. Again, Minnesota's well below of what Fresno saw in the trophy.
Jorge Reyna has to realize there's other guys on his team too, and he's going to have to be a little more prolific in his pass.
Again, that's something they worked on here, at least work week and leading up to the Saturday. And also, too, the benefit for the Bulldogs is they're at home for this one. They don't got to travel to Minnesota.
Yeah.
They're no longer on the road. Hey, they're in the friendly confines, so maybe this is where they take care of business and kind of show their might against a Power 5 school, which I think they can. Minnesota is not the upper echelon there in the Big Ten.
No, I got you. All right, we got to move on to our last game. This one will be on the islands late night Saturday.
This should be another Power 5 win for the Mountain West, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, we got to look at the Beavers got crushed by Oklahoma State. Was it? Well, I shouldn't say crushed. They got beat pretty good, 52-36.
But again, the Beavers, on the same level of Minnesota,
of the Pac-12.
not a good Pac-12 team.
They are probably, let's see, if I look at the Pac-12 right now, I'd probably put them like number 6 or 7 in the Pac-12. I'd rank them right around there. They're okay.
I'd float them really down, at least near the bottom of the Pac-12.
No, I think they're better than the Buffaloes and they're better than Cal.
No, I'd probably put the Buffs are probably better than Oregon State.
No. Anyway,
we'll see.
We're going to argue about something that we don't even really care about. But it's going to be Oregon State and the Rainbows at Hawaii. Hawaii, again, you want to win on the islands, good luck. That's a tough place to win.
Yeah, sorry, Beavers, you're not getting done, as that game's could be played at least 10 o'clock here, at least our time on Saturday night.
6.5-point favorites are the Rainbows.
Hawaii should win that.
They'll cover that spread.
Yeah, without a doubt, again, for Hawaii, what they did of, again, getting kind of the upset win against Arizona on the islands, I think, where Arizona and Oregon State probably on the same talent level, where Hawaii should take care of business again at home, where they are pretty much on the same vein of Boise State, where it's pretty tough to defeat Hawaii at Aloha Stadium. So this one, without a doubt, yes. Hawaii should be 2-0. Hawaii, who I think is more impressive this season than they were last year, can do something special and compete with Fresno State. They're in that West Division. So this is just another feather in the cap at least for Hawaii to get this win coming up Saturday.
All right, we're going to do some Mountain West Conference news here. Just one story. Fresno State has added quarterback Jake Haener, a transfer from Washington who competed for the Husky starting job this past offseason. Haener enrolled at Fresno State yesterday and has joined the team. Let's see, under the NCAA transfer rules, he'll have to sit out this season, but he'll still have 2 years of eligibility. Haener left Washington August 24th, the day after Coach Chris Peterson announced that Georgia transfer Jacob Easton had edged out Haener for the starting job. Fresno likely will need a new quarterback next year because, as I mentioned, Jorge Reyna is a senior this season. So that's happening.
So adding
there.
some talent to Fresno, where they're kind of known as being QBU in the Mountain West, or at least having talented quarterbacks. So not surprising. We'll see what he develops into for Fresno State, if he's going to be kind of that top dog, so to speak. Again, it does have some prestige of, hey, Washington was on this guy. Washington, a perennial powerhouse in Pac-12. You know, if Chris Peterson saw some talent in the guy and wanted him to come to at least the Huskies, I think it's a steal for Fresno State now to get him in the transfer portal and add his talents to the Mountain West.
Also, Notre Dame starting running back Jafar Armstrong is expected to miss at least a month with a groin abdominal injury suffered in Monday's season opening win at Louisville. The Athletic first reported the injury update for Armstrong, who underwent an MRI on Tuesday. Armstrong left the Louisville game in the first quarter after logging 2 carries for 10 yards. Notre Dame coach Brian Kelly said on Tuesday that he didn't believe the junior had suffered structural damage. And again, this could be a month, could be 2 months that this running back is going to be down. And I was reading also, too, Stanford quarterback. And again, quarterback you.
I like how quickly it went from Mountain West notes to now we're just coming all of NCAA.
No, just a couple other things that I wanted to throw out there. Stanford quarterback KJ Costello's status for Saturday's game at SC is questionable. So both started quarterbacks for SC and Stanford now questionable after he took a hit in the head against Northwestern. Costello suffered the injury when he received a forearm to the head while in a sliding motion late in the first half. The play did not draw a targeting penalty from the Big Ten officiating crew, something that drew Shaw's ire after he saw the replay following the game. Again, of course, talking about Coach David Shaw of the Cardinal. So just some
wondrous
college
notes
football
by
notes.
you.
Hey, yeah, I keep you updated. Better than what you do.
On games that no one in this part's really are keeping an eye on.
There are Irish fans out here, dude, and there are SC Stanford fans out here. Yes, there are.
Where? I don't think I've ever seen it.
I
don't think I've seen a Notre Dame at least item once in this city.
There are a lot of Irish fans that don't even go.
Not here. You see more brown and gold than you do anything. So
there are Irish fans everywhere in the U.S.
Sure.
All right, we are going to take a timeout. I'm going to knock him around while the camera's off. We'll be back after these words.
You love the Lennox difference, from collision repair to minor nicks and dents. Certified quality you can trust. Nobody cares about your car more than us. Lennox Auto Body, we do what we say. We fix it right and get you on your way. No shortcuts, no compromise. Lennox Auto Body. No shortcuts, no compromise.
Lennox Auto Body at 1020 Dunn Avenue and the Detail Center at 617 East Pershing Boulevard, Cheyenne.
Capital Lumber is number one in Cheyenne. Are you listening? We're all the lumber store you'll ever need. For electrical, plumbing, paint, and tools, lumber and hardware, we're for you. And we're out to earn your business, yes indeed. Capital Lumber is number one today. Are you listening? Capital Lumber's at your service all the way.
Capital Lumber Company, serving our area for over 53 years at 1222 Dunn Avenue in Cheyenne.
Wyoming Pace has moved to our new location at 1200 East 20th Street and would love to have you join us for a free tour on September 18th from 4 to 7 p.m. This new location will allow us to extend our services to even more of Laramie County's aging population and continue to provide seniors with daily medical and social services. We hope you will join us on September 18th for some light refreshments and a tour of our new facility. For more information, please call 307-773-8112.
Let First Education Federal Credit Union help make buying your next car a breeze. At First Education, you get competitive rates and deal with friendly local folks. Be in control by getting pre-approved and know what you have to spend before going to the dealer. Call 432-7400, go to firstedfcu.com, or visit us in person at 120 West Carlson Street with approved credit, membership eligibility required, federally insured by NCUA.
Did you know that in rural areas of Laramie County, electricity is reliable and affordable because of High West Energy? Based in Pine Bluffs, High West Energy is an electric co-op owned by the 10,000 customers we serve, and that includes F.U. Warren Air Force Base and 20 subdivisions around Cheyenne. For more than 75 years, High West has been proud to play a part in the steady growth and economic development of this region, while also contributing to local nonprofits, charities, and civic organizations.
Hi, this is Dr. Ruby Zubrod with Brandt Audiology and Tinnitus, reminding you to hear the sounds of nature. Plan your next hunting trip to protect your hearing from the damage that comes from the harmful muzzle blasts by using good hearing protection. Brandt Audiology and Tinnitus can help with basic custom-fit earplugs to devices that can protect your hearing while allowing speech and sound to filter through. Call us at 307-426-4327 to make an appointment today or visit our website at brantaudiology.com.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For tonight, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 86. For tonight, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 57. On Thursday, it'll be sunny with highs around 89. And on Thursday night, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 58.
Here the season never ends. From Wyoming sports to the Broncos in Denver. From Rockies baseball to talking hoops with Nuggets basketball. Local, regional, and national. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
We're back on Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
We're going to talk any NCAA news on the random. How about Idaho at home taking on Central Washington for anyone?
No. Anyway, moving along.
Kibby Dome hosting this one.
Nobody
Idaho
cares.
looking for
Nobody
the
cares.
first win on the season.
Nobody cares.
They're losing 79-7.
Anyway, as we look at
I just had to do it because I'm wearing the Vandals jersey
Who
today.
cares?
I do.
Anyway, ESPN has put out their body pictures again, whatever they are.
Their body pictures, as you sound like the old man that you are.
Well,
the body issue that they've been doing for years now.
And you know what? Then
don't
the
again.
swimsuit.
If you're going to
issues-
complain and be your kind of curmudgeon kind of self,
no,
don't read it.
No, the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue also was pretty decent. The body issue is okay. I mean,
Here's what you do. Again, consumerism, you don't buy it. There you go.
Yeah,
How hard is it?
But anyway, moving along here.
Obviously, again, it's something that, showing off athletes' bodies. They go behind the scenes of, hey, what it takes to get to that. Again,
I mean, I like the one
from
where
the big to the small, the men, the women. They encompass it all. Again, where it's like it's pretty much of, hey, here it is. Show your skin. Have fun with it.
Yeah,
And again,
I think the
it's
Philadelphia offensive line was probably the funny one of anything. That was probably the more humorous shots that ESPN took. Anyway, moving along to the National Football League, a couple of guys got paid. Now, again, I'm gonna state it, and
one got paid at least big time that we knew was going to happen.
Jared Goff got paid hefty too. If you didn't see his contract.
Oh, again,
and deservedly so. Deservedly so.
Yeah, again, he certainly deserves the money, but again, there were rumblings that the Rams were going to give him his money or at least give that extension, work things out with him. Deservedly so. Again, the guy has kind of proven himself. We'll see what the Rams are made of this year, where people are anticipating that LA is going to take a step back, have that kind of Super Bowl hangover year, which is a good possibility. Again, looking at that schedule, it's pretty rough.
The West has become competitive. With the Niners, are going to be a little more competitive.
Seahawks
are still they're still dangerous.
And Arizona's just trash, let's be honest. So the West is not as intimidating compared to the AFC West with the Chargers, with, again, maybe the Raiders, Kansas City as well, too. That's probably the more daunting or at least division all of football coming up this year. But NFC West, yes, a lot of folks have gone the 49er route to at least anticipate them behind Jimmy G, a healthy Jimmy Garoppolo out there for the 49ers, again, where pieces that we saw last year get stints and make big plays, like we saw with, again, with tight ends. It's something that could the 49ers take over the NFC West coming up this year? Without a doubt. I think they are. I think they're on that cusp to knock on that door, so to speak. Will the Rams have that Super Bowl hangover? It seems like teams have it more often than they do not. And looking at that schedule for the Rams, it's pretty rough going for that team. Again, Seattle, the Seahawks, I don't know what to make of that team. They have a rating of maybe 9-7, a 9-7 team, at least flirting around that 500 mark. And then Arizona, if they get 3 wins, I'll be impressed.
Well, and again, you say Seahawks 9-7. One of those or 2 of those wins will come within the division. The division probably.
I think 2 of them will come against Arizona. I think honestly,
for Arizona. I think
for
the
the
division
Cardinals
knocks the snot out of
I doubt
each other.
Cardinals get 1 division win this year.
I don't know.
I really doubt.
It's up to Kyler Murray to lead the team to the promised land. And
he's not that guy. I really don't.
They got a
think
long way to go. But going back to Jared Goff before we get to Zeke, Jared Goff got a 4-year, $134 million deal. Now, again, if you think about it, if it wasn't for one Sean McVay coming into the picture in Los Angeles, I think Goff would be, he would have been he'd probably be a backup right now. I think Sean McVay was the reason why Jared Goff is making the big bucks right now.
I guess.
And with a little help from Todd Gurley and a very bulked-up offensive line.
I think Jared Goff has proven that he's got the talent.
He's a very good quarterback. He came out of Cal.
But yes, he surrounded himself with good pieces
good.
without a doubt there in Los Angeles. But I think Jared Goff has kind of proven that he's not that elite quarterback and all that garbage that we kind of address to these pro quarterbacks in the NFL. But it is something where for Jared Goff, he's proven that he's good. He's got the talent. He's one of the tops currently in the league, around Patrick Mahomes, around Tom Brady. He's got the talent. He's got the tools. And again, with the coaching staffs, yes, that does help out and get him in that right direction. But to say that without Sean McVay, he'd be a backup anywhere else, I don't think so.
Well, under Jeff Fisher, he was not going anywhere.
That's Jeff Fisher. Where's he at now?
He's out of work.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
And probably for the best.
Enter Sean McVay, and Sean McVay put him on the pedestal as the project because he was going to be the man leading this team. And thanks to one Sean McVay, Jared Goff now is getting the big payday. 4-year, $134 million deal. You got to like that. Now, I save the worst for last because I am still ticked off about this. The Dallas Cowboys gave in to a guy that's still under contract. Again, as a boss, I don't have a problem saying, hey, you know what? Great, you did wonderful things for me. I'm going to tack on an extra $5 million to your payday this year. I'm going to give you that bonus.
That's what tells me what they did right now, of what they got officially signed in today. Of what you're talking about, that tells me is what the Cowboys did of saying, okay, you know what, Zeke, we broke it down, we talked amongst each other and talking with the head man, Jerry Jones. Yeah, you deserve that pay raise. For what you've done for this Cowboy franchise, you deserve that extension. You deserve that money. You deserve to be, second highest paid running back in all of NFL.
So what's going to happen?
Again, as what you're complaining about, or at least kind of alluding to complaining about with the situation with Zeke, it sounds like that's what the Cowboys did. It broke it down internally, had that time to think about it and go,
also too,
you deserve that money.
Zeke's got the intelligence of a goof anyway. All right, so here's the deal. You knew what you were signing when you were drafted. You and your agent, you knew what you were signing. Then all of a sudden.
Drafted's a lot different than, okay, here's yours in the NFL. Here's what I've done for your team. All right, let's renegotiate of, okay, maybe, again, self-worth. Hey,
but you have a signed contract.
I'm just saying, hey, draft day is a lot different than here. I've given you some years experience here amongst your team.
I'm going to tell you right now. He is signed through the year 2026 now with the Cowboys.
That's good. Again, Cowboy fans should be happy where you know that he's locked in.
I guess his total compensation through 2026 will be more than $100 million. He wants to be the highest running back. He is now the highest paid running back in the National Football League. He surpasses Todd Gurley. My point is, I'll bet you he will not be a Dallas Cowboy at the end of that contract. I don't even know if I'll be around in 2026. I hope I am 7 years from now. I'm going to tell you right now.
7 years from now, Zeke
he will not fulfill that contract. He'll be gone.
I would say I would lean more to, I think without a doubt. We know how the Cowboys operate. We know what Jerry Jones can do. Again, it's also to a question of will Jerry Jones last to 2026 as well, too, again, where he's kind of pushing up there in age. It is something that that Cowboys franchise can make wackier moves, can go and say, hey, we'll give you this money, and next year, for instance, again, 2020, they might say, hey, Zeke, go off to Philadelphia, go off to wherever, bye-bye, and we got pieces for you, and we'll eat that money. Who cares?
Whatever. So here's the breakdown on the 8-year, $102.9 million deal. His signing bonus, $7.5 million. Now, his base salary for this year, obviously it's $14 million less than Todd Gurley's. His base salary is $752,137. But again, remember, he got this big signing bonus when he first got drafted by the Dallas Cowboys. That's how they.
Because he was a high pick.
Yeah, that's how they break things down. You get the signing bonus, but you have to run this contract through its current base.
Yeah.
So his next year's salary will be $6.8 million.
All right.
And then he has a $13 million option bonus. Let's see how the bonus is here. I don't even want to get into it. 2021, it's $9.6 million. 2022, it's $12.4 million. There's guarantees that are in here.
Well, yeah, without a doubt, with any contract.
By the time the end of the contract in 2026, he will make $16.6 million. Will he be happy in 2026? What happens if Nick Peroetti has 4 stellar years at Ohio State and he signs and he gets more money than Zeke? Is he going to whine in 2026? I need more money.
I don't know why you said that on air. I haven't officially committed to the O, but either way,
I'm just saying.
But at least for Zeke, yeah, we'll see what happens. Again, this all seemed like it stemmed of, hey, these other running backs are making a lot more than I am. Hey, I want that money too. Will that be a situation, especially where we're seeing money's being at least tossed about here in the NFL, whether it is, especially for the skills positions, quarterback, running back, wide receivers, will it be a couple of years down the line of, yes, where Todd Gurley gets renegotiated with the Rams or whatever team finds a way to pick him up and he becomes, once again, that top-paid running back? Is it something that Zeke goes, well, hey, hold on a second, I don't like this, give me more money, Dallas Cowboys? It could be a legitimate possibility. Again, with Zeke, he is kind of that eccentric dude, could pull that with the Dallas Cowboys, but is it something of, well, all right, fool me once, and fool me twice, well, you got to go at that point in time? We'll see, and I could absolutely see that happening. We know that running backs in the future, whether it is next year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years from now, they're going to break that mark, and someone's going to be the new top dog of making more money than Ezekiel Elliott at this point in time. But it is something of, will he complain about it? Will he basically hold hostage the Dallas Cowboys when that does at least come to fruition? We'll see what happens.
Now, I ask you this question. He says, he goes, I believe I'm the best. That's why he should be making that money.
I don't think he is.
Okay, I think the kid in with the New York Giants, Barkley's better than him.
Well, we haven't seen anything from him, but again, Gurley probably. But again, my issue with the running backs is they're so expendable in the NFL. We've seen where, hey, you get a few solid years out of them, and then teams just move on or go, hey, here's the next freshest, at least, pair of legs coming in from the NCAA. We'll pick him up, draft him high, and get him out there and see what he's made of. It's something for Cowboy fans. Hey, be ecstatic that you locked in a guy that is, a Pro Bowler, a guy that does have the talent, but for how long? For how long? Again, running backs in this league right now, especially bigger, stronger, faster, are very expendable.
Back in the day, I thought it was like an average running back's time on a team was like about 4.3 years or something like that.
It's got to be that today. It has to be.
And you got Elliott
again.
Under
you see the very few
2026
journeymen like a Frank Gore that is still doing it and still kind of flirting with the averages of what he did early in his career to later on in the career. Again, you see those rarities of a Frank Gore that are still at least in the league, but again, overall, it is the flash in the pan of, okay, here it is. You got a couple seasons out of you. All right, we move on, find a new fresh set of legs. Here's your chance to kind of lead the running back position here for our team, and so on and so forth. It happens all the time. Is Ezekiel Elliott that potential to be a Frank Gore or at least have that at least long career and keep that kind of averages, same year in and year out? Possibly.
He's also a ham and egger as far as I'm concerned. So we'll move on from that. To the Dallas Cowboys, hey, power to you. Keep them there.
Again, it's a franchise that can afford it.
I understand.
It's a franchise.
Every team in the NFL can afford.
Yeah, but Dallas is flirting with one of the more expensive franchises at least not even in the NFL, but across the world, compared to soccer clubs, compared to hockey teams, other NFL franchises, MLB franchises like the Yankees. Again, Dallas Cowboys are one of the tops of how much value, at least how much that team is worth. They can certainly afford this bill that they're giving to Ezekiel Elliott, but it shows, again, for Cowboy fans, hey, They're showing support to Ezekiel. They want to at least say, hey, we got a stable running back here, a guy who can make plays. We're going to pay him well and keep him happy.
Does he take him to the promised land? Does he take him to the Super Bowl? Does he carry that team on his back?
Not by himself. No. Again, in my opinion, no.
Yeah.
Like I said, the monies that he's getting doled out right now, this contract, I don't think he's worth it. I really don't think so.
You're not going to get any argument out of me. All right. There was a fine handed out in the NFL, and it went to Oakland Raiders wide receiver Antonio Brown. Now, Antonio Brown, if you watched Hard Knocks, comes off as a really nice guy.
Yeah.
But he's also a hot dog as well.
Without a doubt. He's got an ego.
And he posted on social media a letter he received from the team that detailed about $54,000 in fines for missing time during training camp. Brown's response, when your own team want to hate, but there's no stopping me now, devil is a lie. Everyone got to pay this year, so we clear.
Please don't ever do that again. You just sound ridiculous.
Now, I'm reading it the way it said. I'm reading it just the way it said.
How you say it just makes it even more just ridiculous. But either way.
Sorry, I don't speak Ebonics.
You're an idiot.
And you're a moron, too.
You are. But either way, again, with Antonio Brown, he's a hothead. He's got ego. He's known as being kind of a, not so much troublemaker, but a guy that just...
He's a pain in the rear. That's what he is.
He goes by his own, he goes by his own rules, so to speak. Again, what we saw in this, at least preseason with the Raiders, of this whole helmet issue of, hey, I don't want to abide by your rules, NFL. No, it's my team, it's my helmet, it's my game. I'm going to do it my way. That's again, it's him thinking about himself, then the team, then more about what the league is suggesting. It's all about Antonio Brown. Again, he's got that big ego. And this is not surprising.
Now listen to this.
This is not surprising. Again, 54,000 is chump change.
I know. But again, the letter posted by Brown on Instagram today was from Raiders general manager Mike Mayock, who informed Brown that he was being fined $13,950 for missing a walkthrough on August 22nd, an unexcused absence. Brown was with the team in Winnipeg for a preseason game that day against Green Bay. And although he may have missed the walkthrough, he did participate in the pregame warm-ups and ran routes and caught passes from quarterback Derek Carr. The letter also mentions that the team previously had fined Brown $40,000 for missing camp on August 18th, the day the GM issued his ultimatum to Brown, saying it's time for him to be all in or all out okay.
Yeah, and again, that was also too around the time frame he was dealing with the helmet issue of, okay, I need to work this around and causing that own issue. But again, it's chump change of Antonio Brown. Obviously, this is probably a bit more elevated since it is Antonio Brown, the figurehead. Again, a guy who is one of the best wide receivers in all of NFL. This might be a little bit elevated in the media just because of who he is. And granted, he's going to post stuff like this on social media, whether it is Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever it may be. But it does not come to, at least not to me, it's not a surprise. It is not a surprise that AB missed a practice, had a little goof-off time, missed walkthroughs. It does not surprise me. We're talking a guy that missed the entire season.
What
guy who sat out due to contract negotiations.
What are the Oakland Raiders? Are they a team?
What do you, again, I don't know what philosophy thing you're trying to pull right now.
AB is not a team player.
That's why, did you not hear what I said? Again, the guy's about himself.
I understand that. But the thing is, I'm about done with these ham and eggers. Again, here, like today, Brown announced he will now wear the Zenith Shadow helmet this season, believing it makes him feel more agile and comfortable while allowing for better visibility.
All right.
Why didn't you go with this route way back when?
Because he liked his old helmet. I mean, it's as simple enough as that, is where, hey, you're used to something. And again, I don't blame the guy where, hey, you're used to something. You've played with this helmet for, majority of your career. You're comfortable in it. You know what your blind spots are working around the bars. You know what, again, what the hits are going to feel like, the weight on your head and everything. Again, it's something that you get accustomed to. I get it. Antonio Brown, and why you fought back with the league of trying to do something different. I get it. But to drag it out, to make this whole social media, again, to blow this thing out of proportions, it is something that it goes online with his personality of where he is selfish. He's about himself. He has that ego. it does not surprise me. It does not surprise me. It does surprise me a bit, though. It's happening on the Oakland Raiders, where, again, a franchise and under to a head coach of John Gruden, where he doesn't take a whole lot of crap. He's not about the off-field antics, and he's not too happy about it. But for whatever reason, it slipped by. Now, whether it's because he is that top wide receiver and they kind of let that slide by of, okay, well, we got talent here in that skill position, we'll let it slide here. Is that the situation, what's going on right now with the Raiders and John Gruden of, okay, we got to respect the name,
Well, let me say this.
but push a little against them.
Mark Davis needs to grow some. He needs to be like Pop. Because I guarantee
Mark Davis is focused on the Las Vegas move.
I guarantee you Al Davis would not be taking
Al
this
Davis
crap.
would have probably said, hey, you're gone.
He would have traded him. Because Al Davis, there was nobody bigger on the Raiders than Al Davis. And Antonio Brown is trying to be bigger than the Raiders themselves, and he's not.
He's doing it, though. And again, the Raiders are somewhat allowing it. Again, this little chump fine, it's nothing to him, but it's that slap on the wrist of saying, hey, don't do it. But again, I don't think the Raiders are really caring that much of, okay, we need to punish him to the point of suspension or whatever needs to happen. Again, are some of those things suspension worthy? No, not at all. But again, the small fine, again, all this stuff, it's just the Raiders are saying, hey, AB, just calm it down. Calm it down for now, and hopefully you'll pay off dividends for us in the season and lead this team to the playoffs in some sit, or if not, win the AFC West, which I just don't see happening, but we'll see what happens.
And finally, from the NFL, since it gets underway tomorrow, the Atlanta Falcons restructured a couple of contracts today to free up salary cap space, which would create more breathing room for the team to absorb a Julio Jones extension while having space for signings throughout the season. So, again, do I have a problem with them restructuring Julio Jones' contract? No. But, again, Julio Jones, he's been very quiet about what he gets paid in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And Arthur Blank takes care of his players in Atlanta.
Oh, without a doubt. He is an owner that is all about his players, about his team. He is, again, not the selfish owner, so to speak. He is, hey, guys, whatever you need, I'll take care of it immediately. Without a doubt. I would not doubt if you had a rank of who do you want to play for, or at least what owner you want to play for in the NFL, he's got to be number one.
And if I read this right,
or him and probably Robert Kraft, but
yeah. And if I read this right, Jones's 2019 cap figure is like $13,466,666. Not too bad.
Does he deserve that money? Without a doubt.
Oh, absolutely. He's been, but again, he's quiet about. Hey, you know what?
Guess what? That's what happens when you got a ton of players in an entire league on different teams. Some are going to be more boisterous. Some are going to be quiet about it. It's just how those teams adjust to it.
Well, anyway, that's the latest from the National Football League. We need to take a timeout. We'll be right back.
Cheyenne Urological has been the cornerstone of urinary care to Cheyenne and its surrounding communities for over 20 years, with doctors Bryant, Everett, Gajewski, and their highly trained staff providing top-quality treatment for prostate cancer, urinary tract infections, kidney stones, impotence, and incontinence. Cheyenne Urological is now offering cutting-edge robotic surgery. So call Cheyenne Urological at 635-4131 for compassionate, expert urinary care. That's 635-4131. For almost 30 years, I've had the pleasure to talk about Cheyenne Auto Repair and Service. Hi, this is Larry Proetti with an invitation to bring your vehicle into Cars for service and minor repairs that are done with precision and care. Now, I've known John and his staff for a long time, and when it comes to tune-ups, replacing shocks, fixing fuel pumps, replacing timing chains, working on heating and air conditioning units, or even just a good old-fashioned oil change, I only trust my car when it comes to service to be under the care of Cheyenne Auto Repair and Service. They are a TechNet professional, where their work is covered by a nationwide limited repair warranty that extends across North America for 24 months or 24,000 miles, whichever comes first. For more information, check out technetprofessional.com on the World Wide Web. Cheyenne Auto Repair and Service always goes one step above the rest when it comes to the care of your vehicle. 604 West Lincoln Way in Cheyenne, open Monday through Friday. Call and set up an appointment at 632-637-3700.
0498. Family owned and operated Riverbend Nursery and Stone Company invites you to stop by today as the fall mums and pansies, along with baskets and rudbeckia, have arrived. Outside, there's still a nice selection of trees and shrubs. And if you're still considering doing some landscape to your yard, let Riverbend do the project for you. They offer plenty of materials, including rock, mulch, and so much more. Serving our area since 1977, stop into Riverbend Nursery and Stone Company on North Yellowstone Road in Cheyenne. Open 7 days a week, all season long.
For almost 60 years, 1480 KRAE has been Cheyenne's home for good times and great oldies. Add to that live play-by-play sports featuring high school football and basketball, along with LCCC men's and women's basketball. Now combo that with KYOY-FM and you have Cheyenne and the area's only locally owned AM and FM radio stations. But we don't stop there. We also have 2 FM translators which serve the area with programming from both KRAE and KYOY. And that equals a lot of bang for your advertising dollar. Radio yesterday and now today, along with our websites, web streams, and digital ventures makes us your one-stop shop. For more information, please call Larry Proetti at 307-637-0301.
We're working hard for your business. I'm AJ Miller at Kia of Cheyenne, and right now you could save on the 2019 Kia Forte. The 2019 Kia Forte is priceless, yet still offers standard features not found on most of its competitors. With Kia Forte, you can charge your phone with available wireless charging, voice command navigation, and 8-inch touchscreen to help sync up your world. Come into Kia of Cheyenne or call 775-0123 or go to KiaofCheyenne.com and we'll make it easy.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For tonight, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 86. For tonight, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 57. On Thursday, it'll be sunny with highs around 89. And on Thursday night, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 58.
When it comes to sports talk in Cheyenne, it's a whole new ballgame.
Let's play ball.
You're listening to Wyoming Sports Talk today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
We're a few minutes away from the top of the hour. We haven't done the baseball thing. And what we're going to do on the baseball thing is taking a look at the class of 2020.
I don't know where you're going. We were supposed to talk basketball as we got our schedule kind of set up for LCCC, but okay. Baseball, yeah. Even though the Rockies are dead last.
No. Just the Hall of Fame class of 2020.
All right, hit me. Where Larry Walker is going to probably move up in votes.
Well, here's what's going to happen. You're going to have Derek Jeter. First bat, he'll be inducted into the Hall.
Yeah, I think without a doubt.
I'm just looking, and here are some of the other names that might be worth a damn. Going to be pretty quiet here. There is not really much to add to the list here.
Well, then toss out names that, again, whether they're first ballot or again, you got nothing. That are on there besides Derek Jeter.
You could throw out a Jason Giambi. No.
I think he'll get votes, but is he a Hall of Famer?
No.
It's hard to say.
Bobby Abreu, no. So then you go to the last.
I think Bobby Abreu probably gets more votes than Giambi, but I think Bobby Abreu flirts with Hall of Fame.
So no, I don't think so. I think Derek Jeter's a lock. Then you look at the top 14 holdovers. Curt Schilling will be in his 8th year.
Schilling should be a Hall of Famer.
Roger Clemens will be in his 8th year.
Should be a Hall
Hall
of Famer, yeah.
Walker goes to his 10th year. Omar Vizquel will be in his 3rd. Manny Ramirez, Manny.
Yeah, Manny.
In his 4th year. Jeff Kent. See, again, I like Jeff Kent.
In my opinion,
no.
He's a fringer. Again, he's a fringe Hall of Famer.
Scott Rowland? No. Billy Wagner? No. Todd Helton? Yes. I'm still shocked that one.
Again, Todd, if you're going to put Todd Helton in there, you gotta at least, again, what you're saying with Scott Rowland, yeah. Bobby Abreu, possibly.
Well, I'm looking here. Gary Sheffield. If he's not going to get into the Hall with
Sheffield, I think could be.
I mean, how many home runs did he hit in his career? He hit in his career, Gary Sheffield, 509 career home runs. And, he's not even – he had only 14% of the vote. You got Andy Pettitte, Sammy Sosa, Andrew Jones. Those are your top 14 that did not place this year. So, again, Jeter
but again,
won.
You look at the vote. You look at the
maybe
voting.
a steroid guy gets in there, sure. Maybe.
No. Again, it's not happened yet. It should. It should with Clemens or Bonds, without a doubt. They deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. But again, whether it's you put them in their special wing or whatever you do with it, they need to be in there. You got to address that. Baseball's got to just, suck it up and figure out of what they need to do with these guys, without a doubt. But you look at where some of the numbers are getting skewed at, where it's maybe taken away from a Sheffield, from a Bobby Abreu, that might take away from a Todd Helton. It's kind of those stints with Larry Walker. Is Larry Walker a Hall of Famer? No. In my opinion, he's not. No. But every year he's climbed up that, at least that percentage-wise, he's getting those votes. But I think that's taken away. I think it's taken away from the Sheffield.
And I think this is the last year of eligibility before he goes to the Veterans Committee. I think it's 10
I think
years.
this is last year. So, but again, Larry Walker, where we'll see if he gets it in, if he gets enough votes where people are saying that he should be a Hall of Famer. Again, in my opinion, and you're agreeing with me, and we'll see whatever others at least kind of have that same opinion. He's not a Hall of Famer.
No. Anyway, I was just throwing that out there because I just happened to stumble upon that.
But Derek Jeter, I think without a doubt, first ballot, no doubt about it.
All right.
He's in.
Yeah, we'll see how many more join Cooperstown.
It might, again, will we see Clemens? Will we see Pettitte? Will we see Barry Bonds? Some of those, again, steroid-associated names. Possibly. Their numbers have trended northward as well, too, every year. It's been a slow trend, but could it be enough this year? Could they get that nod? Will 2019 be that year that those baseball writers and media, at least members that vote on it, kind of say, okay, we'll accept the fact and say, yes, it's part of the history. Let's get these guys in. I'd say, I think there's a good shot we could see one of them. We're not going to see multiple, but I think it's, if anything, Bonds probably has the best shot.
We'll see.
Should. He should.
Again, that would be the question mark. You handed me, and we were out at LCCC earlier days, dropping in and talking to both coaches and just, saying, hey, what's happening? 2019-2020 LCCC men's basketball schedule has been released to us. And, again, you look at a pretty tough schedule here for Coach Jason Fick and Dwayne
compared to the
Feldberg.
women, for the men, it's more home-friendly, where women are on the road. But at least for the men, they'll see stints of Utah State out of the gates, Utah State Eastern, I should say. They will also travel out to Utah State Eastern as well, again, as their kind of Thanksgiving tradition to head out to the state of Utah, but that will be their only opponent. They will not see Salt Lake. They will not see Snow College, so they're going to kind of change at least things up a bit on that non-conference route. Looking at a few, we'll see Otero. I don't believe we saw Otero on the men's side, I think, last year.
No.
So at least there's that. They will travel down to Trinidad State. They will have, I do believe they will host Trinidad. They will be a part of the McCook and North Platte road trip. They will also play host in McCook and North Platte as well, too. Lamar, Lopes, first time, at least Lopes coming to town. For the men, we didn't see them last year, so seeing that. So, again, new faces, so to speak, for at least the men, but it is something that for LCCC, home is going to be at least a good amount for November, December.
You're going to see traditional Region 9 South opponents before they moved to the North last year. So, a couple teams, got ousted.
But definitely not as extravagant as the women's side of things, where they're going to compete down in Colby, Kansas, out in Arizona, Yuma, Arizona, part of that Thanksgiving Classic, the Arizona Western Thanksgiving Classic, where also the women will be in Arizona once again in January, Phoenix and Glendale Community College. But the men pretty much keeping it in the region, keeping it on the local side here in town. So plenty of opportunities non-conference while the women are away that you can go see men's contests there at the rack in November, December, and January.
Well, and I look here, right out of the blocks for Jason Ficka's team. In early November, they got 3 straight road games. They're going to go to McCook, they go to North Platte, and then they go to Western Nebraska. Talk about three tough teams that they got to go back to back to back again.
Should they beat McCook? Yeah. North Platte we knew is a very talented outfit, but they lost a lot of talent.
Yeah,
but North Platte is on the same vein of Western Nebraska out there in Region 9 South that can reload. We'll see what it's like. Again, where LCCC last season struggled at North Platte, they struggled as well, too, against Western Nebraska on the road. We'll see. We'll see this year of what this team is made of. But, yes, again, at least tough out of the gates, but a good, at least, testing opportunity for LCCC.
Yeah, I think this is what Coach Fickle wants. He wants to see what his guys can do on the road. And again, too, what he needs out of his team from last year is not play just 20 minutes. You have to play all 40 minutes.
Yeah, you got to play the full 40, where they were competitive. And we saw that against the likes of Sheridan, against Casper. They got it done. They played the full 40 against Western Nebraska, got that upset win, that top 25 upset here in town. But it is something that we saw at halftime for that second half. The team just disappeared. Did not show up. They collapsed and allowed those teams to get back in and, if not, win those games. So it is, yes, a thing of this team needs to play 40 minutes. Talking with Jason Ficca, basically he said, hey, this is the strongest team that he's seen. Again, looking good in the weight room, one of the at least best lifting teams that he's ever had. So good positives, very high positives for this team. Not saying we've got high expectations for LCCC men for this season, but it is a very positive outlook for 2019.
There's times this year I would expect that team to put a Hondo on the scoreboard.
I think so.
I think they are capable of doing that. Not every game, but I think there's going to be times where
looking who Ficca recruited and at least got signed to LCCC. We got some bigs. We got some Kyle Wright kind of types where, again, they're not going to be afraid on the inside. They're going to battle with the likes of Casper, Sheridan, Gillette, who do have those kind of 6'7", 6'8", wide bodies out there that are going to try and box out.
Well,
even
Kyle Cabs, who put on 20 pounds. You got some great shooting.
The only issue with Kyle is just that ankle. You got to keep that thing healthy.
I think he'll be okay
hopefully,
throughout the course of the season. All right, we got to wrap things up.